and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like it's low carb. Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not super carb, but so it's almost still like a white wine.
This is great. It's a low carb beer.
No, that's not what he meant.
This week, Dan shares some beers from Door County, Wisconsin. This is episode 92 of the Malting Hour.
What's the haps on the hops? Got yeast, that's bees. This the Molten Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Molten Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And to my left,
Danny Pop.
hey man, how's it going? All right, hey guys, not hey man. I looked at Dan when I said hey man. Hey man, how you doing, Dan?
This is weird. You're being nice.
Shut up. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right, man.
Awesome. What are we doing this week, guys? What's going on? Dan, you've
Curated.
thank you curated another episode.
Yeah, to continue with our travel episodes when we take a little trip, I went to Door County last weekend with the family and tried to stop by. I stopped by 3 different breweries, and then one of them I got from a store. So we have 4 different breweries represented.
Right. That's exciting.
Yeah.
In your trip to Door County, did you trip into a fire pit at all?
No, I didn't.
Much better trip than we had.
I didn't fall into a
Which I
fire.
should say Door County is in Wisconsin for those.
Correct.
that don't
Yes.
know.
For those who don't know.
Northern Wisconsin.
Yes, there you go.
Near a certain...
We're not doing that.
Okay, sorry.
We're not doing that. Near a
Did you drive by and lick the walls or something? Like,
No, I've been there, by the way.
near a certain conspiracy theorist football team.
Brian Urlacher?
Aaron Rodgers. What are we drinking first, Dan?
All right, so I'm going to kind of go sort of in order of when they were founded. So
I
this
like
is,
that you way to actually like curate this. You know, that's
Yeah,
good,
I
man.
try,
Thank
I try.
you.
It also kind of goes in style-wise sort of that way also, which, I mean, you would think, yeah, breweries that started back then are kind of brewing the same styles. Breweries that are newer, are a little newer styles. So this one is from One Barrel.
trailed off on his thought.
Yeah, I did. I lost myself.
Just trust me, it's good.
I
know what I'm doing.
From One Barrel Brewing Company, which is this is the one I did not go to.
Okay.
But
I feel like I'm familiar with them.
if you're familiar, there's also like one of the Budweisers is like 12 barrel or something. I forget.
That is true, yeah, because I tried their stuff before.
So this is Door County Trolley Red Cherry Lager.
Ooh.
Which cherries and apples are big things up there. 4.8%. And I thought there would be something on the can, and there is not.
Clark, can you get on that, please?
Right on top
Wait,
of that
what is it? One barrel?
Yeah.
I can look it up.
Door County Cherry Lager. I like the can. The can design's cool. It looks like it's a Door County Trolley Red. There's a trolley on it.
Yeah. So it is brewed each summer as a nod to our friends who run the iconic Door County Trolley around Wisconsin's finest peninsula. This mellow lager features additions of high-quality dark cherry juice, giving a gorgeous deep ruby hue and a lovely cherry flavor without cloying sweetness. Available over the state in limited supply each summer.
They weren't lying about the color. I just poured some. It's got a nice little, like a ruby red grapefruit juice color to it, and it smells like cherry, baby. It does smell really good. Lager. It's an interesting thing to put cherries with.
Well, I forgot to say, so these guys are founded in 2012.
2012. So they're the oldest of the ones that you presented us to.
There's 2 of them from 2012. I don't know which one's technically older, but yeah.
You just failed your curating test.
So I had to take a second sip. The first sip I had, I think it's because I had the Kolsch. I was having like this weird...
Metallic?
Yes. And I still kind of have it. And it could be because we were drinking a Kolsch beforehand, and I just took another sip and switched it around, and I got less of it and more of the cherry and the lager.
Yeah, same here.
It is really light, though. It's not like overpowering cherry.
No.
It's not sweet at all, like they said in the description.
If you swirl it around, Brandon, and I don't know, Dan, if you're getting the same thing, I got less of that. I do think it is because we were drinking something else before we started, and has no reflection of this actual beer.
No, like doing that totally different taste. Like
It's a good beer. That cherry flavor is really nice. It's not, like you said, Dan. It's not sweet at all.
it's good because it's super super subtle.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
But-
easy drinking.
and enough of it's there where it actually like stands out in the beer.
Yeah.
like you
A good
notice
summer
it.
beer.
Yeah,
I will
like
say-
it'd be a good beer to sit around in the backyard on a warm summer day to just sip on.
I would
Maybe
say like the aroma is more cherry than the flavor.
Sure.
But it's there. But I like the way it smells, like,
And it is.
very much.
It's like. I feel like I get like I don't know if it's just it's like on my tongue. I get like the beginning of like it's gonna be a tart beer, but it's not. It like kind of stops after it.
I
first
wonder
hits
if I wonder if it's the way our brain reacts to it because of the types of cherry beers that we've had in the past. That you are expecting like a little bit of a tartness or an overpowering like cherry flavor.
And it was so it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty cold can right now, but I held my last sip in my mouth for a minute, and it is like dark fruit cherry. Like I know I said dark cherry, so that also could be a power of suggestion, but it's not like a sweet cherry or that kind of thing. It's like a
I just did what you said you did, and I kept it in my mouth and kind of switched it around. I got more of the balance of there it is, my favorite word to never use. Balance of like the lager and the cherry flavor. This is a really good beer.
I feel like
I want more of these.
I got a brief moment of maraschino cherry. Maybe that's in my head because maybe that's what I was looking for, just to be like, that would be interesting.
Oh, just feel like maybe your brain is doing that for like the cherry flavor.
But like literally, like on the side of my tongue, like both sides, it was kind of like that tanginess that you get for that like little tart pop that I get from maraschino cherries. Not bad at all. I mean, even without that, this is super approachable.
I really like it.
I like the. I mean, for me, it's like a dry finish. It keeps me wanting to sip more and more.
That's why I've already finished my pour.
I'm so thirsty. I need more.
It was so dry. It's like I drank nothing. Is that what dry means, you guys? Yeah, that is a really tasty, really solid beer. Door County Trolley Red Cherry Lager. I
From
want
one barrel.
more of these.
So where does it say where in Door County, or does it just say Door County?
It's one of the
I think it says on the can where in Wisconsin.
Egg Harbor,
Madison.
I think, actually. No, they have a location in
Madison, Wisconsin, and Door County, Wisconsin.
Yeah, they have. I think it's in.
There's more than doors in Wisconsin.
So I know that they have a tap room in Madison, which maybe that's where they produce their stuff too. I don't know, but I think it's like Egg Harbor.
That's a lot closer to us.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't distinguish, but from my understanding, when you put multiple locations on a can, you produce from both locations.
Yeah.
Like, it's their way of
believe
having one label
Yeah,
and not
to not
having
have
to.
to-
Like, that's
do
why,
it where
like,
it's produced at.
when Lagunitas opened up in Chicago, like, immediately all of their labels say Chicago. Like, it's on there. And I think do they have an East Coast? They might have an East Coast spot now too. I'm not entirely sure. I know
Lagunitas? I don't think so. I think it's
they got a spot in Miami. I know that apparently, like somewhere down in Florida. Because I was looking. I keep looking at their jobs page, not because I'm looking to work for Lagunitas.
You're trying to get me a job there.
Yeah, well, that too. But I keep looking to see if they're hiring for the tap room. So
It's still not open, right?
no, but there was listings for like these random jobs in like Miami. So I think they might have something down there.
Pronounce Miami.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, the Door County location is in Egg Harbor, which is a little like 2/3 of the way up the little peninsula there. Mm-hmm. So past Sturgeon Bay, but not to Sister Bay, if you're familiar.
If you're familiar with Wisconsin, which us being from the Midwest, now you live here, Dan. You are from the Midwest. Are. That was really good, Dan. Good first choice. Good pick. Way to go, right off the bat.
I thought that'd be a good opener.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And yeah, you got to get that. If anything Door County, you got to.
Just going back to my thought, the Lagunitas page has the job is like so the location or the name of the location of the place that they were hiring for is Cervecería La Tropical.
All right.
So Lagunitas has something to do with that,
Lagunitas. Brandon's
but
looking for a job.
but it's not on their website. So just so you know. Like, it's not listed as, like, one of their locations. They have a Seattle location, though. I know that.
Dang.
Yeah, you know a lot about Lagunitas, man.
Well, I just saw that when I was looking, looking at the page.
Well, they could be just sales reps.
No, like, it says, like, visit us. It says Petaluma, Chicago, and Seattle.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll come back to Lagunitas after we drink this next beer. What's next, Dan?
So the next beer is Door County Brewing Company's Little Sister, a wit beer, also coming in at 5.4%. Never mind, I was dyslexic. 5.4%.
Door County Brewing.
Is that where we went?
We had, I think they have that Pallet Jack IPA. Yeah.
Pallet Wrecker.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Pallet Wrecker.
Wait, no, no.
I think it's Pallet Wrecker.
There's a different one.
Oh yeah, no, it is Pallet Jack IPA.
It's like a guy riding a Pallet
Yeah,
Jack.
Pallet
We
Jack
drank
IPA.
that when we were at the bar, the Bitters Bar, where I did my shot.
Oh, yeah. Nielsen's Pub.
Yeah, Nielsen's Pub. That's a really good sessionable IP, or it's like a session IPA or session hazy. Sorry.
I went to a restaurant while we were up there, and I had the Pallet Jack IPA. I'm pretty sure their lines were dirty because it just tasted a little off. But I've had that years ago, and I liked it.
And just to preface this, Door County Brewing is where we stopped on the way up there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. That long lines.
Which is in Bailey's Harbor. Which is on the southern tip, like south of Sister Bay.
You guys, this is why we do this show. We give out all this information that people are dying to know.
Where did those guys go?
Which is why I will read this can.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Sister Bay, which Little Sister's name of the beer again. Sister Bay takes its name from the two islands sitting offshore that, well, look alike. And just like real sisters, the little one is not as innocent as she seems.
Oh, boy.
This pale and cloudy
Jesus,
wit
what does
beer
that mean?
is brewed with equal parts Belgian Pilsner malt and wheat. A blend of coriander, orange peel, and other unique spices provide bright citrus and zesty notes. It's intriguing, mischievous, yet easy drinking.
I don't know if I would call Little Sister any of that. That has made me very uncomfortable.
Me too.
Is it mischievous in the sense that it's like a 12% wit beer?
No,
No.
5.4.
Okay.
And it's got a little sister riding a bike
Yeah.
on the can there.
It made me uncomfortable, I gotta be honest, that description. But let's try the beer and let that be the judge. Ooh.
Yeah, so Door County, I did pop in here. I actually went here when I went to Lambeau, 4 or 5 years ago.
Did you do the Lambeau Leap while you were there?
I wasn't on the field, but it was opening day against the Seahawks, and when they won. The Packers won.
When was this?
4 or 5 years ago, I don't remember.
Okay.
It was my 30th birthday, so 5 years ago. How about that?
You're not 30.
5.
You're not 35 either. You haven't even broken 30.
So I did go. I went there, and they have a really cool side patio area, which I didn't pay attention to see if it was still there.
The side patio
Yeah.
is there.
And
the side patio.
They had a band playing, and it was
Yeah.
packed when I was there at the time.
It wasn't super packed when we went, but there was a lot of people there. There was a band playing. We were like, wow, this is cool. But then we also had to race to get to the ferry.
And
Oh, yeah.
if any of you listeners do head there, I haven't even showed the guys this yet. But I slapped a couple stickers on their sticker wall here.
Shit! Look at that. There's a hip hops and
Nice.
a malting hour sticker
Yeah.
out there.
So while I was there, and they opened at 11, and I was there at 11:10. So there was one other person in the building when I was there. We were on our way to the farm, which is like a petting zoo, on our way out of Door County. But yeah, so stopped by there, grabbed this, and yeah,
What do you guys think of this beer?
I haven't even sipped it yet.
Brandon, have you taken a sip?
I did.
What do you think of this beer?
What the funk? there's like a... Is it in my head? There's like a funkiness to it. Like, not a bad funk. Like...
I
A
get
Belgian yeast funk.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it. Yeah, it's more for is light bodied and like
it's very light body.
very light on the malt flavor. That yeast is coming through.
Heavy
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
heavy
almost
that's what it is.
Like the coriander itself is almost lending it to be like a spiced beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to say like a pumpkin spice beer, but I have had a couple of pumpkin beers. And that was the first thing that came to my head from how heavy this coriander is. It's like, this reminds me of like a spice beer.
In a mischievous way.
Coriander is the number one ingredient listed on there.
Oh, it's the number one ingredient in this beer.
There was no malt. It was just coriander.
We just made a coriander tea and carbonated it and put a shot of vodka in there.
And then, in my head, I was trying to figure it out, and I spaced when Dan was reading it. but I was getting floral notes, and lavender and rose hips are in here.
Interesting.
I don't know who Rose is.
They
but
have
thanks for
ingredients?
lending her hips.
God,
I didn't
come
even read
on.
Oh, maybe you didn't read that part.
did
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
So
boy.
it's coriander, orange peel, lavender, and rose
I
hips.
feel like I get lavender.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I'm still getting a like heavy coriander. I guess you could say that little sister is the lavender girl, huh?
I feel like coriander
reference.
is like up front, and then the lavender is like the aftertaste as it.
Let me get
fades.
it.
that's that floral essence
Yeah,
that I'm
I'm going
getting.
back in.
Yeah.
Coriander.
And I smell a little bit of the lavender on the nose.
But yeah, it's heavy like yeast, coriander,
Yeah.
lavender.
Yeast coriander. I guess I don't really know. I've had stuff with lavender, but I guess I can't pick it out. I do get floral, so maybe I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
I've come to realize that I'm not not come to realize. I've known for a while. I don't really care for coriander in beers.
Which, if you listeners have been listening for a while, you know that means in 2 months Tony's going to be on a coriander.
So here's
kick.
the thing. I'm waiting for someone to find me a coriander beer where I'm like, Clark can attest to this. Like he and I have, we have a beer that we brewed a couple times called the Patriotic Lemon Party, and it is it's a wheat beer that have coriander in it. And the first time we made it, we're like, wow, this is so good. It's got like lemon in it as well. And then the next batch, we were like, this is not. Something about it we don't like. It's not good. What did we do wrong? And come to find out that we tried another beer and we're like, it tastes like the fucking beer we made, and it was the coriander. And the coriander was throwing us off. So I've Belgian wheat beers, they're hit or miss for me. This one, I would say, even with how strong the coriander is, with how light it is, and that floral, which I'm assuming is the lavender at the end, I'd have another one of these. I don't know if I would, go crazy and drink it all the time, but I like the Door County Trolley lager. That I drink all the time. This is good.
This one I would categorize as like interesting. Like you're not gonna find. I mean, I can't think of another beer that's like this that I've had.
Yeah.
I'd want other people to try it for sure, like in a good way. Like like you said, that's definitely under interesting.
There's coriander in pedestrian.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Huh. I guess so.
And I think we did it on the original batch too.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
But we didn't toast it.
Right.
And then
right, the toasted
so
coriander.
I toast the coriander and drop it in there, but it's not enough. I feel like the malt bill and everything else kind of going on it, like
The alcohol that's in it.
Yeah. Masks. It's masked enough to where you don't notice it. It lends to the flavor.
Maybe not masked as much as it like blends in with everything else.
Yeah, you don't want it masked, but it complements everything really well.
Coriander,
Yeah, and
Oof.
like I was.
Even has to be done right. Like
Yeah.
and you have to like coriander.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can just throw in and be like, here you go.
Well, when I hear
coriander.
Belgian wit, I
Yeah.
think coriander. So
What I was hinting at, so the two breweries that started in 2012, they both kind of have like that classic like brew pub,
yeah,
style, like a wit beer and a cherry lager. Like those are very, to me, like old school craft beer,
sure.
brew pub.
Especially wit beer. I think a wit beer and a
Yeah.
lager having those. Like I remember the first time I had when 312 was brand new from Goose Island. That was like, whoa, this is amazing. Or Oberon. Having Oberon, even still having Oberon is still a really good wheat beer.
But they're wheat beers, not wit beers, right? Is wit beer like a spiced wheat beer? Is that kind of how it is?
I believe. I think wit comes under. I think wit means that it's a Belgian wheat beer. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, which
we're
would
not
be different than an actual wheat beer.
right. Well, because the wit means wheat.
Yeah. Well, but that's lending its, that goes along with the.
It's a wheat beer that is top fermented beer, which is brewed with a large portion of wheat relative to the amount of malted barley. The two main varieties are German Weissen beer and Belgian wit beer. Other types include Lambic, Berliner Weiss, and the Gose. Or Gose, how do you pronounce that? So yeah, wit beer is a wheat beer.
Yeah. Which just had the Belgian pills, malt, and wheat. So yeah. I really do like this though. I don't want to give people a.
Yeah, I don't think because I don't. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, Tony's just a hater.
Come on, man. We're being nice this episode, you fucking fascist. I like this.
2 times. 2 times.
It was the first time I said it. It's on this episode. He's not a fascist, you guys. Just because I don't really care for it, like I said, I would definitely drink it again, but I'm not gonna run out and buy it. But I think this would, for a lot of people, this is a beer that would hit or scratch an itch that people are looking for.
Yeah, surprisingly, I enjoyed it. Kind of getting that hit of coriander at first took me a second, but yeah, I would definitely drink this again more often, than some other beers. Like,
sure.
And
Dan just poured himself a shot of vodka to get the
lends
coriander out of
lends
his mouth.
itself to a beer that you can drink on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
It is a good summer. Actually, these 2 beers are good summer beers.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably, I don't know if they're both seasonal, but I mean, the cherry lager for sure was. I don't think that said it was seasonal, but.
Oh, man, I want to get that fucking Pallet Jack IPA from them. Easy Drinking IPA.
Whoa.
That's
This
really
was
good.
brewed in April. The cherry lager. What's that one?
Canned on 4/21/2022.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So this is.
I mean, as a
4/11.
whip beer, though, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the IPAs are really the one beer that I'm very fucking adamant about getting as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with 2-month-old IPA sitting on the shelf.
This is interesting here. I know we were just talking about the Madison location with the 1 barrel. So this says brewed and packaged by Door County Brewing Company, Bailey's Harbor, which is where I went, and Sheboygan, which is a little south where Three Sheeps is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
A little south of Door County. that is.
Sheboygan.
So maybe they're brewing out of Three Sheeps even, because I know I've stopped by there before. They have a pretty big space there. So who knows?
I haven't had any Three Sheeps beer in a while.
I haven't either. I don't think they're down here very much anymore.
I don't think so.
Velvet Hammer, was that their stout or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in any case,
Yeah.
I think we need to take a break because I got to get back to my Zen mode and not be angry at you like I always am.
It's the coriander, man.
You brought it out. No, you brought it out of me. Brought it out of me, Dan. And I was trying to keep it bottled up. But despite all my rage,
Still just a rat in a cage.
we'll be right back.
And we're back.
Fantastic. We're taking a trip through Door County, Wisconsin. Thanks, Dan. Dan, even though you just passed this bottle to me,
know.
I was going to ask you, what are we drinking?
All right. I had it pulled up a second ago. It is...
Yeah, it's one of those bottles where we all get a nice pour. I like this. I can pass it back to you. You can have it right in front of you.
All right, so this is
Ooh, yeah.
from Hacienda Beer Co. This is Astonishing Foresight, 6.3% farmhouse ale. It is a blend of 1, 2, and 3 year aged, 100% spontaneously fermented beer, originally brewed in 2018, 19, and 20. The beer was brewed with our Bailey's Harbor well water. Spoiler alert. Pilsner malt and
Well
raw
water?
wheat.
What?
Oh, no, I meant that they're in Bailey's Harbor. Each batch spent a night in our cool ship to naturally cool and inoculate with local microflora
Love cool ships.
before spontaneously fermenting and aging in oak barrels for over 2 years. No yeast or bacteria was ever intentionally pitched into this beer. After blending, we naturally re-fermented the beer over many months in the bottle. So this Hacienda Beer Company was founded in 2018, and it is a offshoot of Door County Brewing.
Really?
Yeah, and that was kind of like they were going to do like hazies, sours, like that kind of thing. And so
It's like Hubbard's Caves.
Unani.
Unani's Hubbard's Cave.
Yeah, whatever.
We knew what you meant. The first smell that I got from that, I was like, ooh, this is funky. Like, in a good way, you know, a little sour funkiness going on. I'm really impressed after hearing the description of how this beer came to be. It's really delicious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this was, what was the beer that we had from Green
Bench.
Yeah.
It was something to do with the decahedrons.
Yes, that's right.
Dice. I don't remember what's called.
That, as far as beers that you've brought, this is maybe number 2 of the best beers that... I mean, you've brought some really good beers, but it's ones that pop out. Like, if I went through a list, maybe, but, like, ones that stand out, it's that one, and then this one. This is really good. This is really, really good.
What shocked me on this was how funky it smells, but you're expecting like a sour or something like that, and it's there, but it's not overpowering. It's really light and smooth, and yeah, dude, this is
Something that starts with the letter B.
Brandon.
Balanced. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's balanced, but it's balanced for a sour.
I was going to say best.
But even like if you let it sit in your mouth, it feels like you're drinking like a super sour beer. Like I get it on the side of my tongues, but it's super juicy. It's super like refreshing.
Yeah.
This is really good beer.
It's like reminds me of like if you drink a good wine. You know, like I think that's what I like about wild fermented beers is that, or spontaneous fermented beers like wild ales. There's like this taste that I get. It's just like it's like almost like natural fruit type like aftertaste.
Yeah,
and that's what I think I really enjoy about it.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
The fruits are hard for me to pick out, but it's really refreshing. What's like 6.5%? You said, and that's the highest alcohol of the beer so far, and this is I could easily drink that entire bottle.
And just the fact that it was all cool shipped, like spontaneously fermented.
But they didn't intentionally pitch any
It's awesome.
yeast. Yeah,
Which a cool ship, you probably know if you're listening, but it's like a giant metal tub that's a couple feet deep maybe at the most, and then the beer cools and collects, like they said, all the micro stuff that's floating in the air around the area. So it gives it a sense of terroir, as they say in wine.
Oh, jeez.
And going back to like when he was reading the description, it is brewed with Bailey's Harbor well water.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a lot of natural things going on with this beer, and for them to like this be the product, holy shit!
Yeah, and they have, just to let you know, like this beer, occasionally Hacienda gets dropped in Chicago. My buddy actually gave me this beer for my birthday. He got it at Beer on the Wall.
Nice.
And I think it's still there.
What?
But yeah, it's very, very good beer.
Might have to get it more.
Yeah, but so they brew, I don't know if they brew out of the same, I think they brew out of the same one as Door County Brewing. But if you go to Door County Brewing, they have like 2 menus, like the Door County one and then the Hacienda one. And they're both in the same cooler if you go in there.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
I might have to stop by Beer on the Wall and see if they've got any more of these, because I did not.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. Maybe I did see it, because even when you pulled the bottle out, I'm like, oh, the label looks kind of familiar. So if they have it, I might grab one. It's really good. I really, really, really like this beer. I could drink a lot of these.
Yeah, I've liked a lot of Hacienda's stuff that I've had. They do a lot of saisons and sours and all that. They also do, like I said, a lot of hazies. I can't remember if I've even had any of their hazies, but I really like what they're doing saison wise and sour wise.
There's like this grape, like
a white wine character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what's standing out the most to me for this beer. Like, Brandon, you're right. Like, letting it sit in your mouth, you get the tartness of it. But really, like, right off the bat, it's like this nice white wine that has a little, like, earthiness to it.
To kind of play off of that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like it's low carb. Like, it's not...
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not super carb, but... So it's almost still like a white wine.
This is great. It's a low carb beer.
No, that's not what he meant. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of carbonation in this beer. It's lightly carbonated, which I think I feel like too much carbonation in this, you would lose some of those subtle
characteristics.
the subtle flavors that I'm getting from it. Good job, Dan.
Yeah, this
Thank
one's
you.
Thanks. And this one, is more of a...
This is my top for the night, I would say.
So far? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely,
no doubt.
Jeez, that was really good.
It's really good. You can't like chug it. I feel like it's like a little too like tart, complex to like chug it.
Yeah,
but it's really delicious sipper.
It's funny because you guys have fit like this is one of the first times, not one of the first times ever, but like normally I'm one of the first people to finish the beer on this show, and I keeping I keep taking small sips because I really like it, but I also don't want to finish it because
there's some more in the bottle.
Yeah, we'll save it for later.
Yes,
QV
with the Fisher's Party Peanuts. Fisher's, there's a party in every nut.
Is it?
We do have Fisher's Party Peanuts though. Sorry, you know what, planners, you didn't get to us. You didn't reach out, so I'm gonna try Fisher Party Peanuts.
Tony's moved on.
Oh, sorry, I'm just not that into you. Thanks for
right.
laughing at that, Dan. I appreciate it. I know. I like. By the way, anybody listening, Dan has not shown us any beer. He's being very secretive and pulling it out.
But he's also very much like, let's keep this moving.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was ready to go. It was good, but he does have a
Well.
bag. He's pulling these out, so we have no idea what we're drinking. All right, Dan, we're ready for the next one. Is this the last one too?
Yeah, this is the last one. So this is from Sway Brewing Company, which was started in 2022 in June. So very new brewery.
Bless you, Brandon. By the way.
And this is called Lovely Strawberries.
Okay.
It is a barrel fermented saison with local strawberries.
Interesting.
A blended beer brewed with barley, spelt, wheat, and Wisconsin hops, fermented with our house mixed culture in oak barrels before re-fermenting on local strawberries. Brewed and canned by Sway Brewing Company and Sway Brewing and Blending in Bailey's Harbor, Wisconsin. And this beer is re-fermented and naturally carbonated in this can. Yeast sediment will form. Chill well before serving.
All right, so
Sway is 100% brewer owned and operated and creates simple, easygoing beers. We believe beer should be an accent to experience, a facilitator of connection, a thoughtful balance. Sip of Sway in good company.
Well, we are all in good company right now, so
Yeah.
time to sip that Sway.
I have not had this beer, but I did stop here, and maybe one of my most in my element breweries I've ever been to. But let me start by saying so Sway.
What's your element?
What would you say is your element, Dan?
Sway was founded by, I just had his name up and I closed my phone like an idiot.
Idiot.
Sway was founded by Matt Sampson, who is the barrel guy at Hacienda Brewing Company. Oh. And he wanted to be able to, he still works at Hacienda, and he wanted to be able to sort of go his own way, sort of make whatever he kind of wanted to. So he does this little side project, not to use the name of a different brewery, but where he brews and ages his beer in the same small little garage area that Hacienda does. And it's next to a restaurant that was closed when I was there. But it was their Oktoberfest night. He had a guy playing records, like a DJ, vinyl DJ, was playing records there. And it had outdoor patio. There's no indoor area. And the head brewer is the only one that's there, serving the beers. So he was super cool and talked to me. And the DJ was really cool too. He was playing a lot of stuff from that is hip hop or sampled in hip hop and stuff like that.
Really?
So he really knew his stuff. He he had these sticky notes. We're nerding out right now, Tony and I.
Sorry.
He had these sticky notes on his records, and it was a lot of like jazz funk stuff. And then he had sticky notes for every song that was on there that was sampled, and like who sampled it and what song it was. And all
That's
that stuff.
super cool.
Yeah, I was like, I need to do that. Okay, so I haven't had this beer before, and I haven't even taken a sip yet. But go ahead,
Brandon, you took a sip and you've smelled it. What do you think while we stop nerding?
It's
out?
lovely.
That's it.
It is actually. It's got that. It lends to that funkiness, and it's tart, but I feel like that tartness is coming from the strawberries, and it's got a really good strawberry flavor. Like that's what's prominent, and that's what I'm enjoying about this. This was really good.
I want everyone to know that Dan lost his mind. I think crapped his pants when he took a sip. Like, I've never seen Dan so excited over a beer while you're reading that description. Or you're giving your review on it, Brandon.
When I was there, I had the Oktoberfest, and I had their table beer, which was, both of those were awesome. So I just knew, like, from the description of this brewery and everything that they brew, it's another, it kind of like, if you're from Chicago, like an Is-Was-esque brewery that does a lot of different types of saisons, and I knew this was going to be awesome just because I knew he worked at Hacienda, and that's where he was cutting his chops. And yeah, it's awesome. And strawberry is such a difficult fruit in beer for me, like to have, like beers I've had, unless it's like a stout where it's like that, like candy strawberry, but this is truly like a fresh strawberry flavor.
It's really good. It is. You can smell the strawberry in there. I have to imagine. I can't imagine how many strawberries they used on it, or in this beer.
The farmer from, so I didn't know this while I was there, but there was this older guy there when I was there talking to the head brewer for a long time, and then I saw him post like the day after I was there. It was the farmer from that gave him the strawberries.
Oh wow!
Oh nice.
Yeah, so it was like truly like some guy he knew, like from down the street or whatever.
Okay, we want a whole bunch of your strawberries.
Yeah.
It's really good. It is really tasty. The strawberry really comes through.
Brett, I get a little bit of Brett, a little tartness.
I burnt myself on saisons a long time ago, and I haven't really come back. I think I've told you this before, and maybe on the show. So to have something like this, as I'm drinking it, it's like I need to revisit saison. I mean, I know this is very different.
Saison is such an expansive style. Like even if you think of the last beer we just had, and then this one,
Yeah,
they're, like,
exactly. That's what I mean.
way
Like totally different, and I feel like I need to go back and maybe give saisons another try because this is really 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 tasty.
But this goes back into that same argument about like
Who's arguing? We don't argue on this fucking show.
well, like your original distaste for lagers, and then having some like
good versions
really
of it.
good lagers, just makes you want to go back. And I'm kind of in the same camp. Like I enjoy a saison. It's not my go-to. It's not something I can drink all the time. But when you get something like this is just like it piques the interest. And like, not that I'm going to say, I'm going to go find a random saison. I want to find a beer that plays with fruits. That's a saison that plays with fruits. Like, 'cause I could see this being really done really well if they used like blueberries or like
Other fruits.
yeah, my mind just goes all over the place with fruits. And then it comes all the way back, and I'm like, what can we brew like with fruit to get that solid fruit flavor, man? That is just so freaking good. And it's funny because I'm looking at the can and I see it says lovely. I'm like, everything I want to say. It's like, it's so lovely. But it is, man. This is a great beer, and like I will give a big kudos to them, man. Like, good freaking job, man.
Yeah. And as someone who's like a preacher of saisons, which I think most people know probably now if you're listening, but there's a lot of people that do really bad saisons too. Like the overly yeasty saisons.
Fucking
this is such like a delicate, like beautiful version of the
You mean
style.
a lovely version? Of
How do we tell Dan that the analytics prove that people tune out when Dan starts talking?
That's awful. I shouldn't have laughed at that, but he's right. People do. Okay, real side question, like side question based off of what we know that you love saison. So if you is that your, would you say that would be like if you had to choose one style, okay, style of beer that you would drink all the time. You're on an island.
Yeah,
You have
saison.
one style. That's it. Saison.
But yeah, because saisons, I mean, like I was just saying, I mean, you could have like a table saison, which is like 3% alcohol, and
Sure.
then you could have like a dark Belgian saison that's like 8% plus. Like there's such a wide.
I've had a dark, like high alcohol. It's from Texas.
St. Arnold, maybe.
I don't know. I'll have to remember, but I got it in a beer.
It could have
swap.
been Jester King too.
I think it was Jester King.
They have that like heavy metal.
That's what it was. That was really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a wide sway of beers in that style. Sway.
Brandon, if you had to choose one style, what would it be? Like a go-to style that like you're on an island and whoever put you on this island, that asshole. But it's also very nice to say, hey, you get one beer style to drink the whole time you're here, and that's it.
Oh God, that's really fucking tough for me because I feel like I enjoy so many styles, and I'm surprised. I surprise myself when I crave something. Like there's nights I'll sit down, I'm down here doing stuff, whatever, and I'll grab like the Kolsch I have on tap, and I'll have that. I'm like, this is good, and then it's like my mind immediately goes to I want something hoppy, and then but there's also nights where it's like I'll have that, and I'm like, I want something barrel aged. I want something this, that. I can eliminate ones that I would not want. I would not, like, if I was on an island, sure as hell I ain't taking a barrel aged beer with me.
You idiot. It's
Although, those do taste good warm. I don't know about hot, but warm. I honestly don't think I could answer that question.
Theoretically, like if you can change your
Yeah.
mind later, but like as of right now, would there be a style in mind that you'd like that I could just drink?
And do you mean specifically on an island? Do you mean like when people say like your island albums or whatever, like where it's like this is the only kind of style you're ever gonna have again?
Yeah,
not that you're like thinking about the environment. Of
No,
it.
like this is the only thing you're gonna have like
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
I go deep. I'm like, fucking island, salt water, goddamn.
Hot.
Pilsner or pale ale.
Got Jack Sparrow missing the rum. Like, yeah, you know what? You kind of like pale ale probably would be
Yeah, pale ale's a good pick.
because it's there's nothing like there's a lot of flavors you can get from pale ales, and there's a lot of ways you can play with them. But I feel like that would be like pretty good. Like I could live with myself if I had pale ales. Like,
Yeah.
So recently, I don't know who I was talking to. Maybe it was my wife. About like if I was on an island and I had to eat one food for the rest of my life, I used to say pizza. Because pizza, it's universal. You can put like any toppings on pizza.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, it's like when you say pale ale,
you're stuck on an island with a pizza maker or a pizza machine and a bunch of dough
it's a pizza vending machine
and a garden.
But like you said, there's different types of
pigs
saisons that you can have. Pale ale's across the board like a pale ale, but there's fun things you can do with a pale ale.
You got like a more West Coast leaning, like American pale ale.
Right.
Like
There's a whole bunch of
juicy
stuff you
pale
can
ale.
do. I'm sure there's
because if you
imperial
Belgian
ale.
pale
you can
ale.
call things a pale ale and then be Three Floyds, and it's like
Calling you out again, Three Floyds. But so I ended up changing it to sandwiches, by the way, just so you guys know. Because sandwiches, I feel like a sandwich is more universal than a pizza, where I literally can like, sandwich is the ultimate meal.
Ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, boom. Look, Dan. Okay, you've just redeemed at least one episode of me hating you right there. Good call. So I would say that as far as style goes for me, pale ale is very close. I would honestly, and I kind of like had to think about it as I asked you guys. Like I kept playing in my head what it would be. It would be IPA, because there are different versions of IPAs that I can go with. Like almost more so than pale ale. You know what I mean? I do love pale ales. Pale ale is probably my favorite. I mean, we've talked about it too. Pale ale is probably my favorite style of beer to drink. But for the varieties that you can get from an IPA, double, triple, hazy, cold IPA. I mean, there's brewed IPAs. Is that still a thing? Hazy, our milkshake IPA. There's literally like, I know, there's literally a shit ton of different IPAs.
It's
and
funny.
I like the hoppiness.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that because IPA was what I was thinking of, but in my head I was thinking just IPA. I was like, oh, I can't have a double or a triple. Or
No.
Yeah.
It's
If
the
I
style.
could have that,
Yeah,
then
I mean, like,
then I'd probably
it
go
also
IPA.
would take in, the other sub-styles. And I'm glad when Dan had said Saison, he goes, well, yeah, there's different Saisons you can have. You could have a dark Belgian Saison or, whatever. So that's kind of what I meant. Which is
because
why
then I could have said, like, Belgian. And go from, like,
absolutely.
double, triple, quads.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing for me.
But even then, I wouldn't take that.
There are times in my life, and I'm just playing devil's advocate on Brandon's side here, but there's times in my life where I'm like, I don't want an IPA.
Absolutely.
But there's never been a time in my life where I
Well, that's why I said
I
right
don't
now,
want a pale ale.
at this moment. Like,
Yeah.
at this moment, you're on an island.
Pale ales are like good all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Like, pale
And
ales
you could have
really
a fruited
are
pale
solid.
ale.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pale ales is the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I went pale ale. But then thinking about it, like the style wise of IPA, yeah, you could go, that. But I'll stick with pale ale though, because
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right choice.
Brandon and I are right.
Sorry. Okay. You know what? I'm not
nobody
even
said
gonna,
we were wrong.
I am not even gonna dignify that with a response, Dan. But I will say thank you for doing this episode, bringing it together and grabbing all these beers. They were all very good overall. I would, except for
Yeah,
those.
what order would you put them in if somebody walked you up on the street?
Fuck, that's tough.
I've got an order.
I would say, what was the last one we had?
The lovely strawberries.
No, the one before that.
Oh, Haciendas.
Which one's the Hacienda? Was that called?
Astonishing Foresight.
Astonishing
sour,
Foresight. It'd
yeah.
be Astonishing Foresight, the lovely strawberry, the cherry lager, and then the little sister Belgian wit. That's
Agreed.
the order.
So the 1 and 2 are really close. I think I put the lovely strawberries ahead
Yeah, when you
by a little
pooped
bit.
your pants over it, I was like, that's his
Yeah,
number one.
I mouthed "Holy shit!"
Yeah, like he
when I
threw
took a
himself
sip of it.
like back physically.
He died.
He died and then came back to life. Honestly, I've never seen Dan react to that. I'm not.
No, that was that, and the green bench. I'd have to like really think about which one. Would be, like, number one.
Whoa, Dan throwing out some early Maltese information
But
right there.
anyways,
Sorry, I'm having some more
yeah,
Fisher
those two,
nuts.
and then I'd have to honestly think about the cherry and the wit.
Really?
Yeah, the wit was so unique to me. The cherry was like very subtle, so it was kind of like you don't really get it. It's a really delicious beer. You can drink a lot of it. The wit though was very like unique.
So what's it going to be, Dan?
I'll go with the wit and then the cherry. But they're 1 and 2 are really close, and then 3 and 4 are really close.
1 and 2 are very close for me as well. Like that strawberry was really, really good.
I just never know what you're gonna get with the strawberry beer. I'm
Yeah.
always like nervous.
And they did it very well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, whoa.
I also think that the experience you had there kind of helps play into it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It seemed like you had a nice time there.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
It was. And I actually was I was like chit-chatting with these two guys who were just like standing on the side, and one of them was a packaging guy for Hacienda, and the other guy was like a barrel warehouse guy for Hacienda. So it was like,
That's kind
it
of
was just like a cool little experience I got to have there.
Well, Dan, you did a fine job.
Thank you.
You get to keep your job here at the Malting Hour for another month.
I passed.
You did.
He's coming with us to Denver, so we don't have a choice.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, at this point, by the time this this episode's out, we've already been to the Great American Beer Fest. So I was gonna say you should come and find us, but I hope you found us. I hope you found us at the Great American Beer Fest, and we're gonna have a little recap episode, and hope you guys followed us on our adventure. I'm gonna assume it was a good time.
Yeah,
and
look for. I'll be posting on Instagram. I'm sure they will too.
This episode is out after we've already been there.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
You know? Jeez, Dan.
Hey, can you edit that?
You just lost half a month of work.
I forgot. You don't.
Shut up. Okay. You know what? We're back to being a dick to Dan from here on out. Dan sucks. This episode was weak. Brandon, love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
Dan, get it together.
Thank you.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at the Malting Hour.